Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's the Mac, and welcome back to another showcase, or having a look at, would probably be better, at campaign Ozark, the Civil War battles there. So, have covered the Forgotten Campaigns title, and so I thought I'd have a look at this, campaign Ozark. Sounds interesting. As you guys know, my knowledge of the American Civil War is pretty limited. Not a great expert on it, but I'm learning. And what better way to dive into the Wargame Design Studios / John Tiller Legacy Games, where all the battles are in such well research and detail. Right, so this is what the game looks like when you fire it up. Standard, like all the other games, basically. So look at the web page with the not that one. Let's look at the web page. What it says. So they have the Civil War battles here, and we're having a look at Ozark. We did Forgotten Campaigns, which is a really fun title. So I thought I had a look at this Ozark here. I wanted to look at some of the early action of the Civil War. I sort of worked my way up. So this great title here is packed with lots of stuff. So it's the early years of the American Civil War. Witnessed several desperate struggles for possession of the vast Ozark region of Missouri and Arkansas. The fate of embattled Missouri was crucial to the war effort of both sides, and Campaign Ozark depicts these decisive conflicts in 3 campaigns. Yeah, you do get some campaigns with this. So, campaign Ozark, it's 189 scenarios, man. That is a lot. But don't be fooled by that there's actually 189 separate battles. I mean, lots of these are actually different variations of the same battles, but with different things implied to sort of expect a different situation of the same battle. So it covers all sizes and situations, including solo and tutorial scenarios. Yeah, 2 master maps, and yeah. So that's what some of the famous battles included are: Pea Ridge, Newtonia, Cane Hill, Boonfield, Carthage, Springfield, Winston's Creek, Lexington, and Prairie Grove. Some of these actually I've heard about, but not all of these, since I'm not that great of an expert on this. But this looks like a real fun title. I want to dive into this and see what kind of cool campaigns happened here in Missouri and Arkansas. You got the notes, campaign Ozarks. This is probably a crucial read, especially for me who are not very familiar, and for anybody else actually diving into these kind of battles and campaigns. This is a really good piece of document here. It describes like why they actually made the game, why Ozark. Yep, there is the Corinth. I think they do have actually a title called that. I might be mistaken. Yeah, this one, Campaign Corinth. So that was sort of born out of this, I guess. It says, if you have purchased Corinth, then you'll know that I preferred Civil War battles subject to the beaten path, like Pea Ridge and Acorn and Tavern. Some of the favorite battles here. But it's really good. They explain the campaigns that comes with the game. So there's 3 campaigns. There is the Lyons, Missouri campaign, Curtis P. Ridge campaign, and the Hindman's Fall 62 campaign there. So that's pretty cool. They got some strategy tips and stuff for the Confederate player here, and Union strategy. There's some general tips and stuff to keep track of in this kind of warfare. We did go over a lot of that in Forgotten Campaigns, but I guess it would be the same sort of play style in this. You do have like a movement and fire phase, and then you have a melee phase, and then it's over to your opponent's side basically. Some thoughts about artillery, historical notes. This is really good. I actually started reading this. I haven't finished it yet, but I'll read. There's a lot of context here about explaining the early campaign here of 1861, Elias into Missouri campaign there. And it takes up some of the famous battles that took place there, like Boonville, Carthage, Wilson's Creek, Lexington. And then they have the Battle of Pea Ridge. They have the Pea Ridge campaign. It explains what happened there. Some famous battles that took place. The Pea Ridge one was a pretty big battle there. Fall and winter of the Ozark campaign in 62. They have all that described here as well, and that was the. It was actually it was going good for the Confederates there for a while. They did turn things around, but then towards the end there, they had a crushing defeat, and can't remember what it was. Maybe it was the Battle of Carthage. No, that wasn't it. Yeah, it says that what began as a promising Confederate offensive turned into complete disaster with the massive losses in both manpower and equipment. Northern Arkansas would never again see a Confederate infantry force large enough to threaten the Union whole of the Ozark region. There was something saying that it was the Waterloo of the Confederates there. Basically, they were crushed in the end there. So this is a good piece of documentation that comes with the game. Definitely worth to check out and read. I'm going to read this, definitely. You have a good getting started file that introduces a, I think the first battle is around Carthage. So you get it, that's what the getting started is all about. And really good battle. It was fun to play through. I have played it through off camera. It was it's kind of very basic. This getting started actually, it basically tells you how to move up and initiate melees, and it refers of course to the user manual and stuff. If you want to deep dive into certain things. But it was very one of the shorter ones I've seen that comes with the titles I've checked out. But it tells you though basically how to move and fire and assault and stuff, capturing objectives, and then it's just that's just the pure basics, and then you have to deep dive into the manual there to really get the meat of it. So. There's some other stuff that actually comes with the game as well. Let's see, I got to go into my folder here. Yeah, so you got, that's what the folder looks like when you install it. It sort of looks different now than they used to. You have all the manuals in here. They've included some really cool campaign maps as well, like the Lions campaign there in the Missouri. It's kind of hard to see here, I guess. You have in the north there, you got the Boonville and Lexington there. So that was sort of the first campaign there. So that's included. Campaign map 2 there's for the second campaign there, the Pea Ridge campaign. You got Pea Ridge there. So pretty cool stuff. I think there was a lot of like naval action stuff going on too. They were traveling on these rivers and stuff, and there was some important things that happened. Campaign map 3 there goes into fall of Ozarks, the winter. The winter offensive, the fall offensive there. So they got that in there. It's pretty cool. Yeah, we did check out the notes, getting started, the user manual. So that's all good stuff. Just gonna get this down here. Let's see. Yeah. So you can. There's actually some campaigns as well. I want to show you guys those. Just gonna. Where is it? There it is. Yep. It's gonna get these icons out of the way there. All right. So campaign game. If you open that up, you have the little campaign menu system here, and you can start a new campaign. And here's where they are. And when it says weather, that's with like a historical or programmed weather that comes with the campaign there. So there's the three different ones. You got the Fall of the Ozarks in the front there, Alliance Missouri campaign, and the Pea Ridge campaign, and they are like in different categories there. So if you take like the first one there, yeah, just save it there. And so you could play either the Union or the Confederates there. You can choose if the AI should be conservative or reckless. And these are the included battles there. The Boonville, Crossroads, the Springfield battles there. What's in the, if you take the Pea Ridge, sure, let's just do that. You have Crane Creek, Bluffs, Little Sugar Creek, and Pea Ridge Acorn Tavern. So those battles are included in the campaign. And Fall of the Ozarks, let's open that up. You have Newtonia, Cane Hill, Blunt or Heron. There's some secret battles there. So that's what comes with the campaigns. So look at the selection again. So I like the way they have arranged them. So it's sort of in chronological order. You start off with Boonville there. Summer of 61, they're 1861. And they have different versions there. So they have with historical weather and historical. This is a what if, so it sort of explains that in this scenario, Lyon delays his attack on the MSG forces assembling at the Boonville and Camp Bacon, just east of Boonville. This allows time for the Southern forces to consolidate their position in central Missouri and gather even more recruits. By mid-July, General C. Fremont arrives at the front with reinforcements to attack these emergent state guard camps along the Missouri River. So that's, and they have that with the weather rules. All right, weather variant there. Okay, so Carthage, same deal there, different versions. Wilson's Creek, Bloody Hill. Heck of a lot on that. Spring River, Battle of Lexington. A lot of different versions there. So that's September 18th, and then you have September 19th, 20th, and then you have something here, 12th. So this, what is this? Why is this the 12th there? September 12th. In this variant, federal relief forces are quickly forwarded to Mulligan at Lexington and arrive at the town before approach of General Price's army. The department commander, Major General John C. Fremont, the Pathfinder of the West, has just arrived at the wharf below the town to take personal command of the Union forces. State Guard troops formed north of the river are still days away and will be unavailable for the battle. The Missouri State Guard must fight for the town with near equal numbers. That's pretty cool. Dunnigan's Farm. Pea Ridge. It's pretty. This is the full version here, historical. It's 94 turns. March 7th to the 8th there. Leetown. Acorn Tavern. Yeah, I thought I read somewhere that the Confederates actually moved the force behind the Union forces as they had dug in and defended, and they sort of made a rear attack or something. don't know the exact details, but I did read something about that, and it sounded really cool that they actually sneaked by them and attacked them in the rear there. Peerage Day 2 there. Peerage full supplied. 94 turns there. Unfixed forces. That sounds interesting, that you can actually start moving units before they were actually activated. Newtonian Historical there. Cane Hill. Prairie Grove. And here's some lots of different scenarios that comes later on here. You can't really tell what it is because it says Boone, C1U2, Battle of Booneville. This variant general line combines delays his offenses to wait for supplies and reinforcements before attacking Booneville. So these are like different versions, variants of, and this is the same one with weather variant there. Here they have, in this variant, the state god chooses to risk its precious artillery in the hopes of defeating lions. So lots of different takes. Sounds very interesting. Here's something. Trap at McDowell. But it's kind of hard to see here. I mean, the titles, you do get them there, but Crane Creek there. You can see how many there are. It's nuts. So many here. Battle of Carthage, there are different versions of 52 there. This Carthage variant. Seigel's column is reinforced by a Unionist Home Guard regiment of St. Louis. General Thomas Sweeney arrives to take overall command of the federal forces, where Sterling Price has recovered from his illness and takes control of Missouri State Guard troops. Yes, a lot of this, actually, you got to be, read up on these things and do some research to really get the full of it. But very interesting, very, very well researched, as always, from the Wargame Design Studios. I mean, look at this, Battle of Lexington, 45 turns there. So that's the fun thing. As I've said many times in many of my Let's Plays, it's a history lesson, man. To play these, look up the battles, read about it. It becomes so much more fun to actually play it. One thing that is lacking here, it doesn't really tell you what side to play. I don't think any scenario actually, except the getting started one. I think they recommend you to play the Confederates for that one. But otherwise, it doesn't really say. So I guess you could play any side. Maybe they have scripted the AI for both sides. Otherwise, I like it when they actually write it out and say it's recommended to play this side, because then you probably know that the other side has been scripted to do certain things and react to certain things. So we could just fire it up. I can fire up the getting started there so you can see. They have rules, a lot of optional rules. Poof, look at all this, man. So these are the default rules that are clicked in. So it's usually you can't actually press the default button here. It's all, but there is a mention of it in the getting started. I think they, or maybe not in the probably in the manual. They would probably say something about that. Let's open that up. Yeah, very nice. It's very extensive, this manual. So don't be fooled by just playing the getting started and you think you have a good grasp of the game. There's a lot going on here. But if you master one of these titles, there's not that huge difference from the different titles. I mean, it's a span of the same era of fighting, so it didn't really change that much. the tactics mainly, and there wasn't that many radical changes. So yeah, it's a good manual. This it takes up so you have the turns and units, game mechanics here. You got leaders, you get infantry, cavalry, artillery. So all good stuff here. Wonder if it takes up the you got turn mode or phased. You have this. You can break it down to complete phases for every step. The turn mode. This is pretty good to play. The default turn-based mode each player moves, fires, and melees using units under control. So, unit movement phase, Confederate defensive fire, yeah. In this, let's see the, no, not that, this. The manual defensive fire is not ticked in. So I think if I fire this up, let's be the rebels here, as they said. Yeah, so it starts off with the Confederate turn here. So they have really enhanced. This is part of the package of the update with the enhanced graphics. You have the maximum zoom out, zoom into the default 2D mode, zoomed out 3D, and these games are actually pretty nice to play in 3D because I think they made the most improved graphics in these. When I played this, I actually played it in 3D. I usually play my games in this mode here, but it was actually really nice to play it like this. It felt more alive, actually. There's actually some really cool music in this game, as in the Forgotten campaigns, the ones I showed. Some really nice songs of the time that plays in the background. So that's always nice. Yeah, so this is actually, so for instance, we're charging here the Union lines here, and so I think it's actually, yeah, this is a two-phased, because I can move and fire, but I cannot initiate melee in this turn, and then I end my turn and it will switch over to melee turn, and I can do my melee attacks basically. And all in that time, the Union can get opportunities to fire at me when I move, or if I initiate an attack, or even if I fire. So the defensive fire is constant basically. But I prefer to play it like that. I did the Musket and Pike. The 7 Years' War title. And that was felt more better to have that complete phased play because it just felt right. This feels good in this sense that you move up and fire and then you have a separate melee phase. Because you would initiate an assault if you think that you have caused good casualties on the enemy and they're weakened. But if you had like a really bad advance and you shot to pieces when he came up, it probably would not be that wise to initiate an assault because your troops would be disorientated, disrupted, and in a poor state to attack some fresh forces. But this is a fun battle. I played this. It's kind of an easy fight for the Confederates here. They were outnumbering the Union by a lot, and they have some big forces. Like here, they have. This is 500 men here moving down. So you've got some really big contingents here. There's 350 men here. You have lots of cavalry at your disposal as well in this fight. So this Union force defending here is kind of weak. They have I mean, no, it's 110 men there. Same here. I don't think they have that any big forces in the area. It's just small groups of soldiers here. They got some artillery guns, and they have some reinforcements coming in. I think they do have some cavalry as well arriving, but the Confederate forces here is huge. Look at the amount of cavalry here. I mean, it's 500 horses here, and there's 320 in some of these Crew's cavalry there, Alexander's cavalry. These guys got shotguns. Yeah. So you could charge in and cause mayhem. Got even more reinforcements coming here. You have the 3rd Regiment Hearst coming in here. 224 men. Even more cavalry moving in. You got supplies. So I'm going to be playing some battles here. I'm not going to go much more over it. I mean, I'm going to be deep diving into that when I actually choose a battle. I'm going to probably talk a bit more what I've read about that battle and where it's actually in the historical content there. But it looks like a really interesting title, actually, this campaign Ozark. I like that they cover so many aspects of the Civil War. I mean, all those titles they have. It's very complete. I mean, look at this. They have so many, and this is one of the most popular franchises as well from the Wargame Design Studio nowadays, and John Tiller Legacy Games. The Civil War battles have a huge following, and it's fun to actually dive into these. Even for us people coming from Europe or any other place on Earth except the Americas. I mean, this is a very interesting era of warfare, and it was such a huge battle as well. I mean, huge campaign of the Americas and the union of the country there. So, very big part of the American history, and a very important one, I would say, if you are an American. So they have a lot of 15 titles now there, so that's pretty cool. Many of them, like Petersburg and the Battle of Gettysburg is stuff we even know about. And Antietam, this was big as well. For us living in Europe, we've heard of these battles. We know how big they were. So very interesting. So this is sort of taking up more of the smaller engagements, I guess. This campaign wasn't that huge compared to some of the others, but very interesting indeed to have a look at and get into it. It's going to be fun to play through these battles, these campaigns. Yeah. So, I'm not going to mention too much more. I mean, you've seen most of what actually comes with the game here. It's another great title of the Civil War series. So, I'm going to actually pick a battle. Not sure what yet. If you guys know any really interesting of these engagements of battles, just please type in the comments there and give me some tips on what to actually pick here. Or otherwise, I'll just pick something that sounds really interesting, and then I'm going to go more in depth there and have a look at the units and strategies and stuff. So that's going to be fun to go through. So I'm going to end the video here, actually. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and going to look forward to some of this campaign Ozark action here. So that's going to be it. I want to see you in the next episode there, and have a good one, and I'll see you later.